Welcome back to UFO News. On Tuesday, March 7th, WikiLeaks released the largest ever publication of classified documents in the history of the CIA. If you're wondering whether or not you can trust these documents, keep in mind that the mainstream media wants you to believe that they're all Russian spies, which should tell you one thing, that they're not Russian spies. The information that WikiLeaks releasing is 100% real. Just take a look at this tweet from Edward Snowden, and keep in mind that every single document that WikiLeaks has ever put out has been proven 100% accurate. There is not a single document that anybody has ever proven to be false in the history of their organization. There's a ton of interesting things in these documents, but we don't have time to cover it all. So I've selected some of the most interesting ones, and I'm going to go over them one by one. Number 1, Project Weeping Angel. Weeping Angel was a specific malware attack against owners of Samsung smart TVs. If you were to turn your television off, it would only appear off to you, but it would actually continue running in a fake off mode. The camera and the microphone would turn on, record everything that they saw, and then the information was sent back to the CIA. The second revelation has to do with the remote control of vehicles. Everybody knows the story of Michael Hastings, who had information about the government that he was going to release to WikiLeaks when he suddenly died in a fiery car wreck. The video shows that he's traveling on a straight road, there's no traffic, he is doing an extremely unsafe rate of speed, and suddenly he loses control of his car. I'm sorry, but just because you're going fast doesn't mean your car's wheel suddenly jerks to the left. But if you're able to target a computer system within a vehicle, this would give you control to do any of these things. It's not a far-fetched idea, and we've seen examples of people using Nintendos to hack into a computer system, sit in the backseat of the car, and drive the thing using the controller. If that's possible, I have to believe somebody as advanced as the CIA would have no problems figuring this out. Number 3. This has to do with the fact that the CIA wasn't only developing hacking tools, but they were actively looking at companies and trying to detect vulnerabilities in their system that nobody else knew about. These are called a zero-day vulnerability, or 0 days have passed since the vulnerability has been implemented. For instance, if I wanted to hack Facebook and I found a really easy way to get in the system that nobody else knew about, and I hadn't actually implemented the hack, I could sit on this information, bide my time, and then wait for the perfect time to access the system. The reason you would do that is because once you've accessed the system, the person you've hacked can take steps to prevent it from happening again. So the first time, or on day 0, that a vulnerability like this is exploited, it has the most value. The fact that the CIA went actively looking for these vulnerabilities in companies like Apple, Google, and Microsoft shows essentially that they were gathering ammunition to use in the future. Number 4. One of these documents talks about how the CIA developed proximity tools, or specifically programs for spies to use in the real world within close proximity of the person that they were hacking. These programs were known as fine dining, a code word for 24 decoy applications that they developed that imitated other programs. For example, if the spy got on the computer to anybody watching, it would make it look like he was playing a game or watching a movie or looking at some pictures, even using a fake antivirus scanner. But in reality, the background application is running and ransacking the computer, gathering all the information and sending it back to the CIA, or gathering it on a thumb drive for the spy to take. Number 5, Umbrage. Umbrage is a group that collects and maintains a library of attack techniques that are stolen from other countries, such as Russia. If they want to attack somebody and then make somebody think that Russia did it, they can then use these stolen techniques and then leave behind a trail of false breadcrumbs. So not only is this useful for the CIA to hide their tracks, but they could use this technology to manually engineer situations in which one group might feel another unrelated group was responsible for something that they never did. they could use this false information as the basis of an argument to then react in a certain way, go to war, use other techniques and laws to make certain things happen. I can think of at least a couple stories involving Russia in the news lately where people claim that Russia did something terrible and then they use laws to wiretap somebody else to try to see what was going on, when in reality, there was nothing going on. They just wanted to listen in and figure out what the guy was doing. I'm not going to name any names, but I think some of you out there might just be smart enough to know what I'm talking about. So where do we go from here? Our refrigerators and our toasters might be spying on us, but what can we do about it? I'm not necessarily sure that there is anything we can do about it. Think back to when Edward Snowden originally busted open the story of the NSA. This was a huge deal, and this was heard all over the world, but did anything really change? It doesn't really look like it did. If anything, the deep state might have been driven deeper into the state. I don't know how much of the stuff that they're doing is considered technically legal or covered under the umbrella of national security, but as I've mentioned in other videos, national security, or things done in the name of national security, can cover just about anything. If they want an excuse to make something happen, or they can justify a means to an end, they can pretty much get it done. But the thing that is possibly the most interesting about this entire story so far, beyond the 5 things that I just mentioned, which one by one are all interesting in their own right, is this tweet from WikiLeaks, which exclaims that they've only released 1% of the total amount of information that they have on the CIA. WikiLeaks is like a death from 1,000 cuts, because they will slowly hit you and hit you and hit you and hit you with this never-ending barrage of information that you just can't escape from. As soon as one story and one revelation starts to die down, boom, another one pops up into place, and they're going to be playing whack-a-mole to try to keep all of this stuff quiet. And I just don't see it happening. Something has got to give. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Pipe Choir Records. You might have noticed that really awesome song in the intro of our videos. I found these guys on SoundCloud, and I just emailed them and said, hey, would you make us a song for UFO News? And he said yes. And he made 3 awesome songs for us. So thank you once again to Pipe Choir Records. There's a link in the description in this video. They make all kinds of really awesome music. It's all Creative Commons attribution, so you can use it in your YouTube videos as long as you attribute them as the originators of the song. So in the spirit of that, I'm going to end this video by playing the last couple minutes of the intro song that was made for UFO News by Pipe Choir Records. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.